We say, excuse me, HANA S4. I'll take a very simple example to demonstrate what HANA S4 is all about. For example, let's say we have a table. It's a very simple table consisting of 4 columns. And the volume of data, so the table has data related to customers, data related to products, what is the amount and what is the quantity. I'm just trying to keep it very, very simple so that participants will be able to easily understand. So just I'm trying to give you introduction. So once I complete the introduction, I would move on to the real-time scenarios of what is the benefit of SAP HANA and S4 HANA. So a table consisting of 2 trillion records. So the volume of data that this table has about 2 trillion records. And I'm trying to ask a very simple question. So my question here is, who are my top 5 customers? It's a very simple question. In order to get data for such a simple question, and the volume of data that we have in this table is more than 2 trillion records. On a traditional software, how much time does it take? It takes more than 6 hours. In SAP HANA, S4 HANA, it only takes about 6 seconds. Now, why other software applications takes more than 6 hours and SAP HANA S4 HANA only takes about 6 seconds? What is the reason behind it? Let me explain. The reasons are very simple. It's a very simple reason. The reasons are, first of all, HANA S4 HANA, it's in memory. The second one, it is a column orientation. And third one, it does massively parallel processing. When we say in memory, what does this mean? Now, when we say HANA S4 HANA completely operates in memory, what does this mean? Now you see, most of the software applications tend to store data on disk. Why do they store data on disk? The simple reason, it's cheaper to store. Now why SAP design a software that's completely running in RAM? Completely, it runs in RAM. Content is same. Whatever the content that you have it on disk, the same content I separate from a container called disk and put the same content into a different container called RAM. Why SAP design? The reason is, on top we have CPU. Now, is it better to access data from disk to memory, memory to CPU, or directly from RAM to CPU? The first reason what I'm trying to explain over here is, the first reason, RAM is 100,000 times faster in processing data. And the second reason, data is kept close to CPU. The first reason is RAM 100,000 times faster and data is kept close to CPU. And hence, it's very, very fast to access data from RAM. Now, what is column orientation? Just I'm trying to keep it very simple. What is column orientation? Why did SAP HANA, S4 HANA is completely storing data in a column-oriented fashion? So the complete business data is stored in a column-oriented fashion. Why? Now you see, traditional applications in SAP store data in a row-oriented fashion. They store data in, let me copy this diagram. Let me just copy this diagram. Traditional SAP applications store data in row, whereas in HANA S4 HANA, it stores in column-oriented fashion. Now, why did SAP design to store in a column-oriented fashion? The reason is, please see, now suppose say, I insert one record, C01, M01, amount is 100, and quantity is 10. Just I'm trying to insert one row. Here I'm trying to insert one row. Let me try to insert one more row, C02, M02, amount is 200, and quantity is 20. Now, I'll ask a very simple question to participants. Based on customer and amount, who is my top customer? Who is my top customer based on customer and amount? Obviously C02, amount is 200. Now how did system know C02 and amount 200 is top customer? Now what system does is, generally when you store data in a row oriented fashion, now what system does is, the entire data of a table, the complete data of a table is basically stored in one single file. Just I'm trying to give you a very basic introduction. Introduction to HANA S4 HANA. Shortly we'll see the other details. What I'm trying to say, the entire data of row orientation is dumped into one single file. Now, my question here is, get data from customer and amount. But what system is trying to do, please see. It is trying to scan the entire data and giving back the result, C02 and 200. Now participants, what disadvantage do you see in this approach? To only get two values, system is trying to scan the entire file. That is the major disadvantage of storing data in a row-oriented fashion. Just to get two values, it simply tries to scan the entire file, which is waste of time. Now, how a column orientation can handle this? In a column orientation, what SAP has done is, they did a little smart work. Now here you have 4 columns. So what they have done, they generated 4 files. File 1, file 2, file 3, and file 4. So in first file, they started to store data for customer. In second file, material. Third, data related to amount. Fourth is quantity. So fourth is quantity. Now, when you start storing data in different files, now what is the advantage, participants? What advantage do you see here? The advantage is, now suppose say I ask data for customer. It only goes to the first file. And I'm asking data for amount, it goes to third file. It simply skips data from product and quantity. So it's very simple. The concept is very simple. So what did SAP do? So what they've done is, it will only scan the required columns that are requested by the business user. So whatever the columns business user is requesting, it only goes to those columns, and rest of the columns it simply skip. Now, in real world scenarios, where is this applicable? You see, tables in logistics, tables in finance, the tables are as large as 300, 400 columns. But when we are trying to ask questions, we are only requesting data from 10, 20, 30 at max. But what system is trying to do? It is simply wasting time trying to scan the entire table. That is how the traditional SAP systems work. But in SAP HANA S4 HANA, because you're trying to store data for one file, for one single column in different files, it takes shortcut to data. So when I started the session, participants, I asked a very simple question. In HANA S4 HANA, why so many customers across the globe are implementing? So I give a simple answer. In memory, column orientation, and parallel processing. In memory, complete data is processed in RAM. Column orientation. The advantage is take shortcut to data. It only goes to relevant files. Third thing I'm trying to explain over here. What is massively parallel processing? So when we say massively parallel processing, what does this mean? Now you see, again coming back to the traditional SAP applications. Now you see, most of the SAP applications are written in ABAP, Advanced Business Programming. So what happens is in ABAP, what ABAP does is, now suppose say you have a complex program. The programming language is ABAP. So now you know in a computer, you know what is a CPU. Now CPU is nothing but central processing unit. Now this CPU will tend to process the complete program sequentially. So this is how the traditional application process. In SAP HANA S4 HANA, what it does is, nowadays, you know, the CPUs are as large as 4 core CPU, 8 core, 16, 32, 64. NASA has more than 1,000 core CPUs. In one CPU, it has more than 1,000 core. Now this is CPU. Inside a CPU, suppose you have 4 cores. So this is only the general introduction I'm trying to give participants. Now these programs are broken down to several smaller subsets, and each subset of a program, what it does is, it assigns to different core of a CPU. Now participants, what is the advantage of doing like this? What advantage do you find? So this is core 1, core 2, core 3. A core is nothing but CPU inside a CPU. So what is the meaning of core? It means that it is also a CPU, but is inside a CPU. So what is the advantage? The advantage is it exploits the complete power of the CPU, splits the programs to multiple smaller subsections. Each core will process each part of the program. Each part it will process. Finally, the result is assembled. The result is assembly is done and given back to the user interface. So this is, if anyone asks you what is HANA S4 HANA, participants, what is the simple answer that you can give? The simple answer is it's in memory, it's column orientation, and it does massively parallel processing. Now coming to the project. When you're working on a project, what we have to do? What is a HANA S4 consultant? what is the expectation from us? So as a HANA S4 HANA consultant, there are three things. The first one is the new implementation. The second one is known as system conversion. Third one is known as landscape transformation. Now, it's very simple, please see. Now, customers are using SAP system. They're using SAP. They implemented SAP. They also implemented non-SAP. Now, what is the requirement now? The requirement is they would like to implement the next generation software, HANA S4 HANA. So they would like to implement the next generation software, HANA S4. Now, first thing that we need to do is nothing but called as data provisioning. It's called as data provisioning. What is data provisioning? Here you have SAP, here you have non-SAP, here you have HANA S4 HANA, and here you have data provisioning. Data provisioning means moving data from SAP and from non-SAP to HANA S4 HANA. What are we trying to do? We are trying to migrate data from SAP, non-SAP to HANA S4 HANA. How are you going to migrate? Now this migration can be done by SLT. What is SLT? SLT stands for SAP Landscape Transformation. It stands for SAP Landscape Transformation. So what is the purpose of SLT? The purpose of SLT, it can do real-time migration. It can do real-time. What is real-time? Real-time means whatever the changes that you make it over here, within split seconds, it can transfer to S4 HANA. So what is SLT? SLT stands for SAP Landscape Transformation. What is the purpose of SLT? It can do real-time migration. What is migration? It can move data from source. This is nothing but called as source. And this is called as target. It can move data from source system to target system. And even it can migrate data from non-SAP to HANA S4 HANA. Now specifically, if you see, to move data from non-SAP, there are specific tools like Smart Data Access. It's known as Smart Data Access. Accessing data smartly from non-SAP systems to HANA S4 HANA. So this is nothing but migration. Migrating from SAP, non-SAP to HANA S4 HANA. Okay, once you migrate, what is the next thing that we need to do? We need to create business scenarios. Now what are these business scenarios? When you say business scenarios, what does this mean? It means that you can create scenarios for logistics. You can create scenarios for finance. You can create scenarios for human capital management. You can create scenarios for CRM, SCM. Any kind of scenarios you can create over here. Once you create, what next? Participants, what is the next thing that we need to do? We need to expose these scenarios to the front end. All these business scenarios we expose to the front end. How are you going to expose? And which applications can you access? Now, one application is such called as SAP Fury. It's called Fury Apps. And then you can use Design Studio. We can use Explorer. We can use Lumira. Now all these are different user interface. So inside HANA S4 HANA, we create different kinds of business scenarios. Now using data provisioning, we migrate data from SAP, non-SAP to HANA S4 HANA. Then these business scenarios we expose to Fury apps, wherein you can do the configuration. You can create a sale order or a purchase order. Explorer is mainly used for Google-like search functionality. It's a very powerful tool, just like Google. You can explore data. You can do data exploration. Design Studio is mainly used to integrate to iPad and iPhone. Lumira, rich in visualization. It's very rich in visualization of data. It's on-premise as well as cloud. Design Studio is to integrate to mobile application. Fury apps, you can do configuration, you can run MRP programs, you can visualize data, you can write back data to HANA S4 HANA. Everything you can do using Fury apps. Now, just as a demonstration purpose, I would like to show participants how participants will be able to access the system. Please see participants, all that you need to do is just type in RDP. So once you type in RDP, click on remote desktop connection. Now every participant will have access to system for 6 months. Just you need to enter this IP address. Now please see participants, once you click on connect, every participant will have their own user ID and password that will be provided by the backend team. I'm just trying to enter my user ID and password and click yes. Now we are entering into the remote desktop. Now this system has more than 2 terabyte of data, 2 terabyte of RAM, and it has a 64 core CPU. Completely, it has S4 HANA, SAP HANA, P4 HANA, SLT to migrate data from SAP, non-SAP, Lumira, SAP Fury apps, Design Studio, Explorer. Everything is tightly integrated. So participants, is my voice echo coming? Is everything okay, participants? Is my voice echo or is it clear? Because just I got a message, my voice is it's echo. Is it crystal clear, participants? I hope everyone is fine. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, now coming back, participants. Now, what I would like to show participants, I would like to show participants how participants will be able to access the system. The first thing that we need to do is click Start, click All Programs, click SAP HANA, click HANA Studio. What is HANA Studio? HANA Studio is the user interface to work on HANA S4 HANA. Now this is the user interface. Just like SAP GUI, you have this user interface called HANA Studio. I'm just logging into the HANA Studio. So once I log into the HANA Studio, now here you see there are different systems over here. So this is the development system. This is a quality environment. Now here you see there is something called Quick View on your right hand side, where you can see different options over here, like data provisioning. We're talking about the data provisioning. Please see participants, it's here. Now this is system. So what you have to do is, normally if you see, this is log off. Just what you need to do is just right click on this, click log on. Once you click log on, The user ID and password is already saved. That's why you can just log in. Once you log in, participants, there are two important folders. One is called as catalog and the other one is called as content. What is a catalog? Expand the catalog. A catalog is a collection of schema. All these are different schemas. See, there are so many schemas that participants have created in order to practice on the system. What I'm going to do is I'll just go to one schema. Let us go to a schema called best. Expand the schema. Once we expand the schema, here you see there is a folder called tables. Right click on the tables folder, expand the tables folder. So once I expand the tables folder, so here you see there are different tables. All these are different tables that you can see here. Now, participants, you can see there are different tables over here. Now suppose say, for example, you are searching for a specific table. Let's say you're searching for a specific table. What we need to do is, let us right click on tables, click on filter, enter the table name KNA1, which is customer master table, click whole word and click OK. So once you click OK, double click on the table. Once you double click on the table, see participants, now this table here is a row store or a column store. Now this is completely a column store. Only one thing I'm trying to explain over here is any data that is related to business in SAP HANA, S4 HANA, completely it stores in a column-oriented fashion. Any business data. Click on runtime information. Once we click on runtime information, the number of entries that we see here is 19,584 entries. Now all these entries are stored in memory. Please see participants, completely data is stored in RAM. It occupies about approximately 3 MB of data for 19,000 entries. In SAP HANA, a catalog is a collection of schema. A schema is a collection of tables. These tables are column-oriented fashion, and these are in-memory tables. Now what I'm going to do is, let us close this catalog. Close the catalog, and here you see there is something called content. Expand the content. What is content? A content is a collection of package. Content is nothing but it is a collection of package. Let me go to one package called SAP. Please see participants. Now here you see there are so many packages over here. Let me go to a package called SAP. Expand the package. Expand the sub-package. Expand ECC. Once you expand the package, expand business scenarios. Participants, please see. Now here you find business scenarios with regards to accounting, business scenarios with regards to billing, billing document header, billing document item, bill of materials, capacity, condition, controlling. Now all these are different business scenarios that SAP provided for different functional areas, delivery, distribution channels. Let us right click on this, click data preview. This I'm trying to show you data preview of different distribution channels. So here you can see SAP client, distribution channel ID and distribution channel name. So here you can find there are different business scenarios with inventory management, maintenance, manufacturing, material, inventory management, procurement and sourcing, retail. All these are different business scenarios. So I'll explain you in detail when we are actually looking into the actual sessions. Okay, so what I'm trying to explain here is, what is content? A content is a collection of package. What is content? It's a collection of package. What is a package? Package is a collection of business scenarios. Now here I'm just trying to give you a very brief introduction to the HANA Studio. Now here you can also see data provisioning. In order to import, export, migrate. So all this you can see here. You can import configurations and so on. Okay, now let me show you how we can access SAP Fiori apps. In order to access the Fiori apps, that is the front end, just trying to access the Fiori apps. Let us go to the Google Chrome. Just let me copy paste the URL. So this is the user interface. Now this is the next generation user interface, which is SAP Fiori apps. Provide the username and password. Let us log in. So once you log in, so here you see participants, there are different apps. Like for example, managing profit center, creating a purchase order. So a lot of apps you will find it over here. So many apps you'll find that are related to master data, operations, logistics, related to finance, configuration. All these are different apps that you can find it over here. Now this is one of the user interface that I'm trying to show you. Now there is another user interface. Click Start, click SAP Lumira. Now this is something which is rich in visualization. Business would love to work on this. So it's just starting. Now here you have, in the HANA Studio itself, you have like you see there are different plugins over here, like BW, B4 HANA, S4 HANA. So once you start this, let me try to open SAP Lumira. So what is Lumira? Lumira is rich in visualization. Just it is opening up. So I'm also going to show what kind of materials I'm going to show to what kind of materials participants would get, how they would prepare for the certification and get more than 80% in the certification. Shortly I'm going to show you after showing of system access. Now please see participants. Now this is nothing but SAP Lumira. So in here you can see geospatial analysis, Russia, Texas, California, and then in California, San Francisco, Los Angeles. What is the gross margin? And then here you can see countries by gross margin, discounts by sales, you have different tree maps, sales revenues by gross margin. So this is sales revenues by gross margin. So here you can see in pie chart, in donut chart, heat maps, tree maps, tree map. So completely it is rich in visualization. So what I'm trying to show participants, how participants will be able to access my system. So here you have SAP, non-SAP. In SAP HANA, you can create different kinds of business scenarios and how we can access to the front end. That is to the user interface like Fury apps, Lumira, and so on. Now, just I would like to show materials to participants. Now here what we do is, we have something called Dropbox. Once I open the Dropbox, so here you have different materials. Double click on common materials. Double click on set 1 materials. Double click on assignments, data provisioning, SAP landscape transformation. So all these are step-by-step assignments that participants would work on. So every day I'm going to take 1 hour session. So the complete course duration is 2.5 months. Every day I'm going to take 1 hour session and then give, so I have total about more than 70 hours of assignments. So here you can see SAP S4 HANA materials, like different implementation scenarios, business suite to SAP, S4 HANA certification. In HANA materials, you can see business value with SAP HANA. So if I open this, what kind of business value it provides? So what are the customer references for consumer? For discrete manufacturing, like Usha International. So in this is the 82 document where you have different clients, and each client, how did they implement SAP HANA S4 HANA? How did they benefit? Tata Power Delhi Distribution Center, Saudi manufacturing company. So currently I'm working in Saudi Arabia in a company called Saudi Aramco. So Asian Paints. In financial services. And then here you have Lufthansa, Vodafone Group. So there are a lot of clients who implemented HANA S4 HANA, so you can refer to this document. And here you have HA100, HA200, migration, ABAP HANA. So all the documents with regards to SAP HANA S4 HANA are over here. And then participants can also find resumes just to get inspiration from. So you have different resumes over here. And then interview questions. What kind of interview questions will come in the certificate? What kind of interview questions will come? So here you can find remote desktop details. How participants will be able to log into system. And then coming to the set 2 materials. So here you have set 2 assignments, but data provisioning, UI integration, B4 HANA, ABAP HANA, advanced modeling, and then certification dumps. So what I'm going to do is for every 3 weeks, I'm going to discuss about 80 questions. By the end of the course, I'll discuss about 300 questions. Most of the questions will come in the certification as well as in the interviews. So I also prepared something called interview clearance documents. So these documents will help participants just before the interview. If they would like to review, they can go through these documents. And here you can find HANA project. So I placed all my project documents wherein I'm going to discuss 2 projects in detail in this course, starting from project preparation, project kickoff, confirm installation, validate the solution, realization, implementing the solution. So I'm going to show each and every aspect of the project in detail. Train key users, switch to quality assurance, test solution, set up productive environment, deploy, switch to production, go live and support, hand over the solution. So each aspect of it I'm going to show in detail in the sessions. The two projects I'm going to discuss in detail. So here you can see there are other documents. So this is the software. So you can also, I just imported all the configuration from the project, and I've kept all the configuration so you can import yourself. All these are different configurations where you can import the standard objects to SAP. So these are all the standard objects. So here you can see importing files that are related to the project, rapid deployment solutions, demo projects. So everything I kept it over here in the HANA project, HANA S4 HANA. And here you can find S4 HANA Finance, SAP HANA, SAP Pressbooks. So a lot of documents I collected, which are the latest versions, 1610, 1709 edition, HANA 2.0. So all the documents I placed it over here for the benefit of the participants. And also, whatever the session I'm taking on daily basis, now these sessions are recorded. So it's a live session, but every day I'm going to record this session and send to the participants after 15 minutes. So whatever the questions participants are asking me, all those questions I'm going to document over here. So I'm going to prepare every day whatever the question participants ask. I'm going to place it over here. And then, so we have a 24/7 L1 support is available whenever participants are practicing. If they got stuck in some place, the backend team will help the participants in order to resolve their issues. Okay, all the participants, just a short recap once again. So when I started today's session, I started with a very simple question. When a table having more than 2 trillion records, in HANA S4 HANA it only takes 6 seconds. Why? It's in-memory, column-oriented and parallel processing. Then we started to discuss about column orientation. Why column orientation is very fast? It need not scan the entire table. It only goes to specific files to fetch data. What is massively parallel processing? It breaks the programs to smaller subsets. Each part of the program is processed on different core of a CPU. Each core will process, assemble the result, and give back to the user. Then we started to discuss about when you would like to migrate to HANA S4 HANA. First, we need to migrate data from SAP, non-SAP, to HANA S4 HANA using SLT. Once you migrate, we can create different kinds of business scenarios and expose to the front end. And then I was trying to show participants how participants will be able to access the system, that is HANA Studio, SAP Fury apps, and SAP Lumira. And finally, towards the end of the session, this I'm trying to show participants how they will be able to access these materials from the Dropbox. Only one thing I can say, once you complete the course, I will make sure that each and every participant can clear the certification and get more than 80%. So training is something which I'm giving from last 5 years. I've delivered it for hundreds of batches in the past. So participants would like to talk to the trainer. Participants who would like to talk to the trainer. Participants can fill up a survey form. So once I end the session, participants will have a survey form wherein participants can give their details, their phone number, the question that they would like to ask to the trainer. So already it is late. So what I'm going to do is tomorrow I will talk to the participants. I'll call participants and talk to the participants. So we have a backend team in India. In India, we have a backend team. So they'll bridge the call between the trainer and the participant. I hope all the participants feel comfortable. I hope all the participants are feeling comfortable. So participants, please also attend tomorrow's session. Please join the same link also in tomorrow's session. It's a very interesting session. Tomorrow I'm going to explain about the introduction to the HANA Studio, how we can do migration in real time, what kind of business scenarios we can create in HANA S4 HANA. In tomorrow's session, I'm going to explain introduction to the HANA Studio, how we can do real-time migration using SLT, and how we can start business scenarios. I once again thank each participant to take your time to attend today's session. Thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow same time. A very good morning and good night to all the participants. Thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow. Please attend tomorrow's session. It's a very interesting session. Let's connect. Thank you so much. Good morning. And just one request to participants. Just kindly fill up the survey form. That is only request from my side. And please give the rating for the trainer and the session. And if you would like to talk to the trainer, please also indicate what is the question. Tomorrow, surely I will connect to the participants and we can have a detailed discussion. Okay, participants? Thank you. A very good night and good morning. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, all the participants. Thank you. Thank you. So basically, the backend team will provide the recording to the, so whatever the session that has happened today, the backend team will send to the participants. Please fill up the survey form, your details. The backend team will send you the recording. Thank you.